Hey everybody, welcome again to another episode of Anime no Iesu. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Onyeka. Don't bite your tongue. I can spell that out for you. It's just on as in owning something, yay as in yay, and then ka, Onyeka. So with regards to Anime no Iesu, every episode, I'm just here to show you something that you might have never seen before, and some of you might be like, what's that? So what that is essentially how Jesus is trying to talk to you through the awesome world of anime. And for this episode, we'll be dealing with a very interesting topic, which starts with the letter V. And no, it's not volunteering, it's not Voltron, it's not vampires, it's vengeance. Vengeance is the topic that we'll be discussing today. And as always, we'll usually walk you through what this means. We'll also talk about 4 reasons why vengeance is a bad idea, and why that's important for you to know. So stick around, have a listen, hopefully enjoy the episode, and we're going to explore this topic of vengeance through this very, very unique and stellar anime series. Take a look at the trailer. Yeah. Sorry, that trailer is just mind blowing. I mean, anyway, whatever. We'll leave that alone. So, as you can tell right now, the anime series that we're going to dive into for this episode is going to be Vinland Saga. So, this awesome historical anime series is based on the manga series by Makoto Yukimura. Trust me. Oh my gosh. You've never seen Vikings like this. I mean, it's such a deep and rich, intricate story. Family, pain, loss, fighting. Man, anyway. This anime series is on a whole nother level. I would suggest watching it. Putting it on your list, especially for those of you who love Vikings, love that kind of those historical stories. Even to me, I feel like this one is it's like Assassin's Creed meets Vikings essentially, except from the viewpoint of a little kid. And I see Assassin's Creed because the daggers and anyway, but whatever, we'll leave that alone. In today's episode, we'll essentially be walking through a few things. First things first is who is Thorfinn. That's going to be really important to know. Second is what is vengeance, the actual definition of vengeance. The third thing is, what does vengeance have to do with Thorfinn? Then we'll talk about our lesson for the day, and lastly we will address those 4 reasons why vengeance is a bad idea. Yeah, so let's dive into who exactly is Thorfinn. Yeah, take a listen. So who exactly is Thorfinn? Thorfinn is he's the son of a former Viking warrior, Thor's. Really great, amazing guy, as you're going to see in this anime series. So at the start of all this, we really see Thorfinn as a child, really, really young. He's just there, playing with snowballs, play fighting, running around, having fun with his family, his mom, his sister, and his dad. They really just enjoying, soaking in those good times, it's kind of like, yeah, anyway, like he's soaking in those good times, and really, really get to see that Thorfinn really like adores his dad. Like his dad is like his literal hero. He wants to be a warrior like him. He's seen all the stuff his dad is doing and the stuff like people said his dad has done, and that's something that really sticks in his heart. Now, Thor's unfortunately gets dragged into some issues that occurred in his past, and as he's about to go and face the consequences of that, he tells Thorfinn, like, yo, just stay here on the island, look after your mom, take care of everything. And what does Thorfinn do? Thorfinn doesn't listen. He actually sneaks aboard the same boat Thor's is on, and the sad thing is that he goes there and watches as Thor's is killed by Askeladd and his crew. Now, when this happens, all of that love that Thorfinn had for his father instantly transforms into pure hatred, which he focuses on Askeladd especially. Now,
トールズのガキだ。船底に隠れていやがったな。見ろよ、一丁前に探検なんか持ってるぜ。殺される。いや、僕怖い。よくも父上を殺したな。お前も殺してやる。絶対に殺してやる。ぶっ殺してやるぞ。殺してやる。ガキのくせになんて命しやがる。
Now, he's still a child in all this, so it's a lot of emotions and turbulence going on right there. The thing I would say about what happens there is that hatred is such a dangerous emotion. Like it doesn't sit still inside somebody. It's way too corrosive for that. So what you'll find is that it'll burn, it'll antagonize, it'll almost itch within the individual until they have to do something about that hatred. So the sad thing is that because of this hatred, which has now blinded Thorfinn, young Thorfinn, he now sees it that he has to get vengeance for his father's death, and he believes that that will only happen when he's able to kill Askeladd with his own hands. And again, keep in mind he's still a child. He's just, he thinks this is the right answer, and he gets steeped more and more into this culture of violence, which his father never wanted him to be a part of. But he believes he's doing the right thing because of, he's avenging his awesome, amazing dad, Thor's. What you're going to find is that why vengeance is dangerous is because those who seek to use vengeance are often controlled by it. And I'll rephrase that again to say that vengeance will always control those who seek to use it. So Thorfinn thinks he's in control, but he's really a puppet because of the trauma and what happened in his heart when he saw his father get killed. And yeah, that's Thorfinn in a nutshell. And we'll dive into what's the definition of vengeance. The sky is deeper than the sea. Keep your precious justice to yourself, but use it till what is the definition of vengeance? So here, as we can see from this little tidbit here in the dictionary, vengeance is essentially revenge for either a wrong done to you, or a slight, or an injury, or an insult, essentially. Now, the second definition of vengeance here is quite interesting, because it mentions that it's a desire for revenge, not just having revenge, but a desire for revenge. And this clearly shows what happens when someone is struck by a traumatic event, essentially in their lives, similar to what happened with Thorfinn, watching his father die before his eyes. So that sort of trauma can actually be what sparks that desire in somebody to seek revenge, and blind them to the fact that it's a dangerous road to walk because of the price that comes with it. Now, in order, really summing up the definition of vengeance, it's pretty much all these things that are said. It's very straightforward and to the point. Vengeance is really all about payback. There's no mercy in it. There's no love. There's no kindness. People justify their reasons for having it, but at the end of the day, it's as brutal and ugly as it gets, and it doesn't solve the real problem, which is the wound that is in the heart of the individual. Those who seek vengeance are usually in that mindset of, oh, I'm going to hurt you because you hurt me. And they do that, no matter the cost, whether it's to them or anybody around them. Yeah, that's how dangerous vengeance can be. And yeah, that's the definition of the word itself, vengeance. The sky is deeper than the sea. Keep your precious justice to yourself, but use it till the Now we're at the big $1 million question. What does vengeance have to do with Thorfinn? I'm going to put some context in regards to this. Thorfinn is a textbook example of why vengeance is a really bad idea. If you think about it, he stopped being a child the minute his father, Thor's, died. From that point on, Thorfinn is just a slave, essentially, to vengeance. And it just downhill spiral from there. And you see that him being enslaved by vengeance brings him nothing but pain and misery. これまでにどれだけ殺したと思ってる。石膏にも出たし、しんがりも務めた。手柄は十分に立てた。Seriously, look at all the things, all the bad things that happened to him from that point onward. Broken bones. This guy's a killer at such a young age. He's separated from his family. Serious anger issues. Can't have proper sleep. Which is even, essentially nightmares.
いじけてるな。
父上。
やーい、泣き虫毛虫。悔しいか、ちびすけ。仕返ししたいか。俺の子だからな。仕返しすんなって言っても無駄だろうし。困ったな。どう言えばいいのか。自分の力で気づくしかないのかもな。言っただろう。お前には敵などいない。誰にも敵などいないんだ。本当の戦士には剣など。
And, after all this stuff, people he's killed, all of that, and all these missions, broken his back to do this and do that. Not literally broken his back, but done so much. And he's still no closer to getting any vengeance. Does that make sense? Anyway, yeah, that's just one huge clue as to why, vengeance itself is a bad idea. How many people do you think Thorfinn killed for the sake of his vengeance? Let's take this in. Thorfinn only started, using the daggers and killing anybody because his father got killed, right? That was the main reason why he started any of this. And I mean, if we look at all the stuff he's done, the missions and everything, I mean, this guy's kill count could literally be at maybe 90, not 100. Okay, you know what? Maybe that's too high. Let's drop it low. Let's say it's 50. Even if it's 50, Thorfinn never hurt any women and children. The only people he ever killed on the battlefield were all men. Now imagine if all these 50 men had children who learned that their father got killed by a guy named Thorfinn. Essentially, Thorfinn would be creating multiple Thorfinns like him who would come and find him and try to kill him the same way he wants to kill Askeladd. Doesn't that just sound mad? But again, this as I said, Thorfinn is a slave to vengeance. He's just being manipulated, and the dangers of it is that he thinks what he's doing is going to bring about the true healing he needs. And again, another reason why vengeance is such a bad idea. There are no heroes when it comes to vengeance. Absolutely no heroes. Only casualties, misery, and a lot of pain for everybody involved in that. Here's where it gets interesting. Vengeance will only make things worse, not better. That's literally what Jesus is trying to tell you through this anime series. I mean, vengeance itself is not even logical. Think about it. Every time Thorfinn got in a duel with Askeladd, he always lost. And why? Because vengeance was clouding his judgment. I mean, even Askeladd said some of this stuff clearly, that this guy can't think once he gets angry because he's easily provoked. Why? Because of the vengeance that's in his heart. I mean, even another crazy point is the fact that when Thorkel finally found Askeladd's men and literally wiped them out pretty much, Thorfinn, who had run away, who was away from the scene, literally rode back to fight Thorkel. like a monster only because Ashclad was in danger. And I'm like, wait, was he trying to be a hero? No.
Thorfinn! No!アシュラッドに手を出すな！そいつは俺の獲物だ！指一本でもそいつに触れたら殺すぞ！分かったかデカブツ！そいつに触れたら殺す！バカだと思ってたが、ネズミがクマに喧嘩売ってやがる。
獲物？お前のボスだろこいつ。
ボスじゃねえ！おい、聞いたか？あのチビ大将を殺すとよ。ほう、言うだけでも大したもんだ。アシュラットをこっちに渡せ。渡さなけりゃ殺す。
マジ？じゃあ渡さねえ。聞いたか？今アシェラッドの身柄をかけて俺とトルフィンの決闘が成立した。お前たちが証人だ。
やったれ！やろう、勝手なことを。
トルフィン、お前が勝ったら無事に逃がしてやろう。馬もおまけにくれてやる。
ロンドンの時みてえに行くと思うなよ。
おう、期待してるぜトールズの息子。戦士の一族。
He wasn't trying to be a hero. It's still vengeance guiding him to do stupid things. Because he's not going to save Askeladd out of love. He's just saving Askeladd because he doesn't want Askeladd to get killed by someone else other than himself. I mean, that's just mad. And again, just showing you how illogical vengeance itself can be. Here's a sad one. You remember Leaf? Now, when he meets Leaf, and Leaf comes back, it's a little later in the actual series, when he meets Leaf and Leaf says, I've been looking for you all along. I can take you back home to your family. Thorfinn still chooses to stay. He still chooses to go and hang around Askeladd and look for his opportunity to fight the guy, rather than even going home to his family who's missed him for years.
そうか。やっぱり仇討ちを。ああ。野郎は必ず俺が殺す。この父上の探検でな。ボロボロじゃないか。幼い子供が戦場を生き延びて地獄を見てきたに違いない。いや、ダメだ。この子を救うにはこれまでの11年間を否定しなければ。
レイフさん、ヴィンランドは今どうなってる？父上が行きたがっていた。俺も時々夢に見るんだ。もう村の一つも作ったか
い？なぜ残してきた母と姉のことを聞かんのだ？お前がいなくなってからヘルガの具合は一層悪くなった。顔を見せてやれ、トルフィン。ヘルガにはそれが薬だ。俺はヴィンランドのことを聞いてんだよ。聞いてもねえことをベラベラと。おいこら、どこへ行く？トルフィン、国へ帰ろう。
トルフィン、もう十分だろう。一緒に帰ろう。
十分。あんたに何がわかる？あの日から今日までの俺の何を知ってるってんだ。ああ、アシェラットが野郎が生きて飯を食いくそたれてる間は十分じゃねえ。十分じゃね
え。なんということか。あの陽気だった幼子が。
I mean, again, does that make sense? Yeah, that's another point right there. Do you know why Thorfinn lost it? Like literally lost it when Askeladd died in his hands.
おいハゲ、何悠長に寝てやがんだてめえ。くそ、あ、くそったれ。面倒なとこ刺されやがってバカ野郎が。
たく、うるせえな。ちった休ませろや。
てめえ、さっさと立て。こっから逃げっぞ。
バカ、とっととやってくれよ。待たせて悪かったな。こうやってやるよ、俺の命。やれよ、俺とお前は敵同士だろうが。
死ぬのか、お前が。
早くしろ、時間はねえぞ。
なめてんのか、てめえ。こんなんじゃねえだろ、俺とてめえの決着は。こんなんじゃねえ。許さねえぞ、勝手に死ぬんじゃねえ。立て、今すぐ俺と決闘しろ。てめえを倒すのは俺だ。おいこら、ふざけんじゃ、さっさと立て。
ガキはこれだから参るぜ。
決闘しろ。
お前、どう生きるつもりだ。これから先、俺が死んでからその先、どう生きるつもりだ、トルフィン。何も考えてなかったんだろう。
うるせ
いい加減先へ進めよ。いつまでもこんなクソくだらねえところに引っかかってねえで。ずっと先、トールズの行った世界のその先、トールズの子のお前が生き、それがお前の本当の戦いだ。本当の戦士になれ、トールズの子。
トルフィン、許せとは言わぬぞ。この成敗はそやつが突如乱心し、王陛下殺害という大罪を犯したためだ。だがこうなってはもはや私の下で働く気などあるまい。望むところへ去るがいい。 こいつも逆賊だ。やめろ。そういうやつは殺すな。下がれ。そういうやつの処分は私が決める。トルケル、もうよい。切られるくらい安い代償だ。
It's very, very straightforward, actually. I'll walk you through it right now. It's literally because when Thor's was killed, Thorfinn's identity, or sense of self, if you will, was now rebuilt around the idea of having vengeance on Askeladd, as in killing him. So that idea was like a glass pillar, and I want you to imagine, that idea of vengeance is like a glass pillar, and Thorfinn's sense of self and identity is balanced on top. So this weak glass pillar for vengeance is what has kept Thorfinn through every single situation. The pain, the misery, broken arm, this and that. And now the day that pillar shattered, when Askeladd got killed, literally outplayed, right, crazy. When he got outplayed by Canut's father, Sweyn, Thorfinn by default also got shattered as well. And that's just to show you, like, vengeance is literally that weak. It promises a lot, but delivers so little, if nothing. It cannot change the past. It cannot, and I mean it cannot, bring anything and anyone back to life. I mean, seriously, like, it's just crazy to think about it. Askeladd died, and still Thor didn't come back to life. Like, so what exactly did Thorfinn think was going to happen when Askeladd died? And his father would just come from Valhalla, restore back into the body, and then just everything's back to normal. No, vengeance can bring nobody back. Nobody from the dead can bring nobody back. And you just see how this thing really wounded Thorfinn and played him and just messed with his head completely. And again, textbook example, Thorfinn, sadly, as to why vengeance is a bad idea. So the lesson of the day is, and I'll say it again, that there are no heroes when it comes to vengeance. It's just plain and very, very straightforward. That it only leaves casualties, misery, and pain, and to everybody who's involved. Now, those who are strong of heart, choose forgiveness over vengeance, as hard as that may be. And you might be going through vengeance or thinking of vengeance, or you know someone who is, and that's okay. Like, in fact, I'm glad you're watching this, because I'm just praying that you'll allow Jesus to help you choose forgiveness over vengeance, because that is what will bring about the true healing. By that I mean forgiveness. Not sure why vengeance is a bad idea? That's okay. I've been there myself. I'm just going to walk you through these 4 tips as to why vengeance is a bad idea, and we'll just dive a little deeper into those tips right after this. So first things first, vengeance is a bad idea because it can blind you. The second thing is that vengeance can leave you vulnerable to manipulation. The third thing is that vengeance can rob you of your purpose. And the fourth thing is that vengeance does not undo the past. Those are the 4 tips I'll be diving in on with regards to this video. So just stick around and just hear a little bit more about them. Yeah. So tip number 1 is that vengeance can blind you. Again, using Thorfinn as an example here, think back to all the times, this is if you've watched it, think back to all the times when Thorfinn literally lost his cool when it came to fighting Ashclad. And you can just see that even beyond that, like this guy was so deep inside his vengeance or his pursuit of it that the man forgot that he still has a family. Like, I mean, that's major. Like, again, he did not become like an only child because of the death of his dad, or he didn't become like, someone who has no family. His mother and sister were still alive. But Thorfinn, buried deep in, manhood, honor, I gotta avenge my dad, sadly, totally did not see this. Again, vengeance blinding him to what he actually does have, not necessarily what he lost. You also see that vengeance can actually cause someone to have tunnel vision. So they're laser focused on what they want. Again, being laser focused is a good thing, but context is always key, because in this case, when they're laser focused, they could actually do dangerous things in order to achieve that vengeance, forgetting that like they're missing the bigger picture. Like look at the amount of times look at the amount of times Thorfinn actually went into some dangerous situations, all because Askeladd was just like, hey, if you do this thing, I'll give you a duel since you want to beat me honorably, right? And like Thorfinn not even like, it's almost like he's not even seeing that, hey, this thing could actually get me killed, why am I doing this? Dives right in. Like it's just nothing. Again, how blind he is to the fact that vengeance is what's, like just all these things that he's doing that shouldn't be happening. I think it almost even leaves him blind to his own value. Because if Thorfinn valued himself, he would not be throwing his life away so carelessly, if that makes sense. And again, and even this tip itself actually ties in with our second tip as to why vengeance is a bad idea. So tip number 2 is that vengeance can leave you vulnerable to manipulation. This is something we see like throughout the entire series, that Ashclad uses it like, oh Jesus, like a trump card. If this was like Yu-Gi-Oh, that's a different anime. He uses this so many times on Thorfinn. Like, imagine Thorfinn is like a wolf, and then vengeance is his leash. So every time, and remember, he wants to avenge his dad honorably. He doesn't want to stab Askeladd behind the back. He wants to do it in front of everybody, so they'll know who's the better warrior. It's this, crazy warrior culture. But anyway, so because of that need, very, very deep need, Ashclad will always, throw him, a bone of like, oh, hey, you know what, I'll give you a duel with me if you go do this dangerous thing. And that right there, that request is literally his, Thorfinn's leash being jerked and pulled, because he's now going to do whatever it takes to get that request done, even if it hurts him, even if it hurts someone else. He does not care. Again, back to tip number 1, he's blinded and he doesn't see that he's being manipulated. You also see it again whenever Thorfinn actually duels Askeladd, where you see that Askeladd is so experienced that, at doing this, that pushes Thorfinn's buttons easily, especially when he goes back to mentioning how Thor's died. So easily that Thorfinn just loses his cool completely, so furious, and then costs him the duel every single time, as you've seen in the series. The thing about vengeance, why it's so dangerous, is that it leaves your heart completely exposed, and it leaves the individual completely vulnerable to manipulation. the individual won't see it because they're steeped into the vengeance or they're already on the path. But those who are far removed from it can see what's happening. They can see the vulnerability. It's very, it's very clear. And the sad thing is that some of them might actually just seek to use that wounded individual for what they can gain, rather than trying to help that person to heal. It's really, really crucial, because though someone thinks they're gaining vengeance for themselves, they don't know that they're opening up who they are to be manipulated by someone because of what this desire can do to somebody. Yeah, that's tip number 2 as to why vengeance is a bad idea. Tip number 3 is that vengeance robs you of purpose. Now, this tip is major. I mean, I'll say it this way. God put everybody on earth in regards to, like, there's a purpose for every human being who's ever been born on this earth. There's something that they're meant to do. So by that I mean that you are literally on this earth because you're meant to solve a problem that is actually here in this plane of existence. Now, doing this on finding this purpose takes time, and you need God to help you even to find it as well. And that would be time you wouldn't have if you were busy seeking vengeance. I really think that Thorfinn was destined to do so much more than be a Viking warrior. It's the sad thing is just that when he saw his father get killed in front of him, that really derailed him from even trying to find his real purpose. I mean, who wouldn't be derailed by that? It's immensely traumatic for anybody to have that kind of loss in their life. And what you just see is that the price of his vengeance was really the loss of his childhood. Years and years that Thorfinn threw away in regards to pursuing vengeance, time that he will not get back. Its vengeance is the reason vengeance is an issue, and it's actually a really, really bad idea, is because it'll steal the time that you should be putting into your purpose and just waste it away. So you could be investing that time in actually growing and flourishing and learning what you're meant to do on this earth. But instead, if you're chasing vengeance, you're losing that time you should be putting towards your purpose, finding your purpose. That's literally how dangerous vengeance is to anybody on this earth. Yeah, and that's tip number 3. So tip number 4, and our final tip, is that vengeance does not undo the past. This one's a cold, hard fact. I know Thorfinn wishes it wasn't, but sadly it is that even if he had managed to kill Askeladd, whether it's dishonorably or honorably, it would not have brought his father Thor's back from the grave. Do you know why? It's because vengeance does not turn back the hands of time. Everything has still happened as it is. It's not committing an act of vengeance that undoes something that happened in the past. No, like, I'll use it this way. Let's say you're hurt because someone did something to you and you want vengeance. Even after you get that vengeance, you will actually still be hurt. You may not see it, but it's still in there. Like I said, your heart, whenever you seek vengeance, is completely exposed and vulnerable, and there's something that is affected by that action or the pursuit of it. So the reason why, if someone's hurt and they seek vengeance, they'll still be hurt on the inside is because, and this one's huge, vengeance does not equal healing. Vengeance is not there to help make you whole. It's actually going to shatter you instead. And this is why I would always advocate for forgiveness, as hard as that may be, because forgiveness will actually liberate you from seeking vengeance, rather than you stewing or fanning that desire, which will lead you to self-destruction, inevitably. I would say for those who are in vengeance right now, and you're watching this, or you're considering it, I would really, really, really plead with you, don't do it. Oh my gosh, save yourself the trouble. Look at Thorfinn. Look at all the stuff he went through. Broken arm, like sad nights, like it's a lot of stuff. And the mental health fatigue on this guy must have been crazy. Like, you don't want to go through that. Like, that's, man, that's just bad. And he was a kid. So I would say the best solution, in my opinion, would be forgiveness. As hard as forgiveness may be, just letting the person go, it will really liberate you on a whole different level. So this person now can't, you're no longer vulnerable to manipulation. You no longer be blind, and now you can redeem the time in order for you to actually chase your purpose. Those are some great pluses of you actually forgiving someone who you want to take vengeance on. So if you have the courage, again, I'm not saying, again, like I keep saying, forgiveness is not easy. I always ask Jesus to help me with that because I need his help to do so. I would just ask that you join me in this quick prayer to ask Jesus to help step into your situation. I don't know what you're going through, but I know Jesus can help you to start that journey to actually heal from what's going on in your heart with regards to vengeance, and also for you not to choose vengeance as the ultimate solution. So please, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for who you are. I invite you into my life. I need your help with who I am. I need your help with these vengeful thoughts. Help me to forgive as hard as it may be. Teach me how to do so. I can't do it without you. I need your help to be able to see this through so that I will become who and what you've destined me to be. Thank you so much. Continue to speak to me that I'll hear you, and help me to obey. Amen. And if you've just prayed that prayer, congrats, you've started that's your first step towards a vengeance-free life. Really talk to God as much as you can and see how he can help you with that journey, because it is possible to be vengeance-free. And this is our fourth and final tip as to why vengeance is a bad idea. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for sticking around this long. I hope that you've been able to learn something about vengeance. And the reason I mentioned vengeance is because I know it's something, I don't think it's talked about as much, but it's something that a lot of people sometimes definitely face, whether it's seek vengeance or not, and why. And I just want you to know so that you can actually heal and defend yourself against the need for vengeance. And again, don't feel bad if you've thought about having vengeance or done it. A lot of people around the world have been in that situation. What I do want is for you to have the answers so you get out of that situation, if you are currently there. And push forward and ask God to help you with regards to forgiveness, because forgiveness is the answer, not vengeance. So thank you so much again. Please let me know what you think about the video. Put your comments in the comment section. Like it if you like it. Subscribe. Send me a message if you do have any questions about anything that was said here. This is part of a series, mini-series, I'll call it, in regards to, we will focus on the Vinland Saga anime series, and the title of this series is Of Fathers and Sons. So stick around, because our next episode stay tuned, because our next episode is going to be about, the mighty, brave warrior father, and, for those who know Vinland, talking about Thor's. So stay tuned for that awesome, amazing episode, and I will catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.
Billy, I got the hope. Walk on the water and float.